Are you thinking of selling your home and maybe starting to do some research? You probably understand the basic stuff, the decluttering, maybe some paint or some upgrades. But is the thing keeping you up at night? What about home inspection? What if the home inspector comes and finds something and it slows the sale down or stops it altogether? How can I avoid those things? Well, we're going to help you with that today. My name is Bill Pozaricki. I'm with the Pozaricki Alpino Realty Team, and with me is a professional home inspector licensed in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, Barry Perriner. How are you?
I'm fine this morning, Bill. Thanks.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So in your 20 years of experience and many going through thousands of homes, what are the handful of things that you have found that if a homeowner paid attention to it up front, they could avoid and have a nice, clean home inspection?
Sure. Basically, we like to go through the house as a home inspector.
Mhm.
On the pre-sale side, and doing a pre-sale inspection to identify conditions that exist in the home prior to putting on the market, some of the things that the homeowner probably wants to look at, starting outside with the exterior, first and foremost would probably be the roof. To ensure the roof's in good condition. Down the outside of the house, siding, windows, trim, and foundation walls. Outside the house, we also have lots and grounds, so the driveway becomes something you want to look at to ensure the driveway is in decent condition. Yard drainage around the outside of the house, okay? Grading, steps and stoops, handrails. So your home inspection is basically a safety inspection, is the bottom line. We want to make sure the house is safe and that all major systems and components are functioning consistently with original purpose. So the bottom line, again, is a safety inspection. So we want to make sure we have the right handrails coming up the stairs. And again, we want to make sure the outside of the house is in good condition.
Okay.
So
they're looking on the outside, maybe peeling paint or rotted window sills.
Sure.
If shingles on the roof maybe turned up a little bit, things like that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hopefully the homeowner, if they're doing this pre-sale inspection to ascertain the conditions before they go to the market, they have a good idea of how old things are in their house. So if the house or the roof is a little bit aged, they know that.
Okay.
So, but you're right, curling, lifting shingles, water damage, wood rot, things like that are things to look at the outside of the house.
Okay, great. And on the inside?
Inside, we'd probably move in, home inspectors love the basement. So foundation and structural components in the basement. We want to make sure the house is structurally sound.
Right.
Okay, the foundation's in good shape. It doesn't show evidence of water penetration, and then it's adequately secured and supported. Okay. So there are a lot of components, structural components in the basement that the home inspector is going to look at for you. It includes foundation, carrier beams, support columns, floor joists, bridging boards, sill plates, all the components that build your house up from the ground.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
those are things and again, we want to make sure that it's all functioning properly,
Right.
and we have the right components.
Okay. So looking for like cracks in the foundation, we know they'll see like settlement cracks and small cracks.
Right.
Maybe they're coming from like the cellar window at the corner and coming down. Those are probably okay. But something that's bigger or going horizontal, I understand, is an issue.
That's correct.
Okay.
When you talk about foundation and settlement cracks, hairline fractures, vertical cracks, or those little cracks like you just mentioned that come off the window, those are usually just settlement and shrinkage cracks from the material. But you're right, if we find cracks, vertical and or horizontal crack is probably the worst crack.
Okay.
You never want to find a horizontal crack. That's a compression, what we call a compression fracture. That actually is becomes outside the scope of a residential home inspector. And we'd probably recommend further review by a qualified service contractor, such as a structural engineer.
Okay.
Vertical cracks that open up greater than 1/4 of an inch, those we want to have looked at and sealed properly to ensure that we prevent water penetration and the house, again, the foundation remains in place.
Okay. Now, electrical, we never want the homeowner to open up their panel, but they can go around and check outlets,
Sure.
GFIs,
Yep.
ground fault.
They can. There's actually a small little tool they can buy at the hardware store.
I got one.
That allows them to check their outlets to ensure their outlets are wired correctly. They can make sure their switches are functioning properly. Lots of dimmer switches don't function properly, and if switches that have been used for a long period of time sometimes need to be replaced. They don't quite function properly. But they can check their outlets. Ground fault circuit interruption is something maybe a lot of people don't know about. It's found in various areas around the house: exterior outlets, garage outlets, unfinished basement outlets, kitchens and bathrooms. The ground fault circuit interruption prevents the homeowner or anybody from getting electrocuted.
That's a good thing.
So if anything electrical appliance comes in contact with water, it trips the circuit to prevent you from getting electrocuted. electrocuted. So ground fault circuit interruption is something that we like to see in all those areas.
So that's something that they want to test a couple times a year, maybe either with that device
Sure.
or just by hitting the
They
test
can
switch.
they can test the outlet itself by pressing the test button and the reset button to ensure those are functioning. But in order to really test the outlet to ensure it's working properly, you need that little GFCI tester.
Okay, and a lot of times I see, and you as well, that like in a kitchen, you just see one of those protection outlets, but it's really wired to everything around.
It can be.
So they need to test all of those outlets
Right.
that are close contact to water.
That's
right, to control
correct.
power.
That's
Okay.
correct. Yeah. So all the outlets, even though it may not be a ground fault circuit interrupted outlet, it's probably tied. The next one
Right.
in line down the countertop would be tied to one of them. So there's usually more than one in the kitchen.
Okay. Now plumbing, again, they're not plumbers. What's the best way for them to make sure they don't have any plumbing leaks or any issues with plumbing?
You know, this is really pretty simple. Turn the water on and look.
There you go.
Okay. We can do what's called loading or sink loading
See,
or tub
yeah,
loading.
yeah.
Okay. In which case, pull the drain stopper up on your sinks in your tub, load it, fill it with water, drain it, and look underneath in the plumbing pipes, okay, and make sure there's no leaks.
Mhm.
You want to run downstairs, make sure there's no leaks in the main drains in the basement area
Right.
going out to the city sewer or the septic system. Again, run the water through the system and look. There's many leaks that people don't even know they have.
Right.
And it could be under their kitchen sink, under their bathroom sink, and it could be a small little leak that they just don't notice and they've never looked.
Right.
It's as simple as that. Run the water and take a peek.
Perfect. What else do you recommend that they do before they go on the market for sale?
So we've covered exterior, foundation and basement, and structural, plumbing, electrical, heating and cooling systems.
Okay, yeah.
Again, not something the homeowner is going to service or do themselves, but they might want to have a qualified service contractor come in and just do a quick service
Sure.
on their heating and cooling systems. And last but not least, I would say try to take a peek in your attic. Okay,
Mold.
attics, mold is
Yep.
something
That's
we're all hearing about
What's
now.
for dinner now?
Yeah.
Yep.
So attics, again, structural, ventilation, and mold. Okay,
Mhm.
we want to make sure that there's no condensation, moisture, mold growth, and that the attic again is still structurally sound.
Okay. Very good.
So that's basically, if you think about it, outside the house, basement to attic.
And you offer pre-home inspections for people that are thinking of coming on the market, and you can leave them with a comprehensive report that they can go through and fix everything.
Absolutely.
Or call, not fix themselves, let me back up. Call in the appropriate contact or professional to take care of those things.
Absolutely. It's what we call a pre-sale inspection. It gives, again, the homeowner the opportunity to ascertain the conditions that exist in their home prior to putting it on the market and gives them the opportunity to address whatever they'd like to address. If they're not in a position to fix everything that may need to be repaired, replaced,
Mhm.
retrofitted, or upgraded, it also gives them the opportunity to work with you, their professional broker, and price the house accordingly, knowing that, say, it's going to need a little bit of work here and there.
Right.
So it gives you an opportunity as a broker to also understand the conditions of the house and how to price it accordingly
Right.
in the market.
Yep, that's a great point, because some people that don't have the funds to maybe put a new roof on or windows, then we can just disclose those. So when people come through the house, they know that the roof is end of life. May not be leaking,
Right.
but it's end of life. Windows are so old. So again, we can help and price accordingly and do that. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yep.
Barry, thank you very much. If you have
Pleasure.
any questions on inspection issues, reach out to Linda and I. We're going to have Barry's contact information right here in the video. Reach out directly to Barry. You don't have to go through Linda or I. Continue to watch our YouTube channel and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we're going to have more professionals like Barry on. And if you have anything that you'd like us to talk about or a professional to bring in, please drop us a line and we'll do that. Barry, thanks again. Enjoy your day. Stay safe.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.